What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. And now we'll turn our attention to the Preakness Stakes. Put a bow on the Kentucky Derby. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure to go watch that Kentucky Derby recap video. And now you, like me, can move on to the Preakness Stakes coming up here in less than 2 weeks here, about 10 days away as I record this video. We will be running the Preakness Stakes. All right, so this, let's talk about the probables, I guess, right now. This is kind of who's pointing for the race. As far as horses coming out of the Kentucky Derby pointing for the Preakness, we'll start with those horses. And by those horses, I mean this horse. Only one horse is pointing for the Preakness after running in the Kentucky Derby, and that is the Kentucky Derby winner, Golden Tempo. Now, as of Monday, as I record this video, the Monday after the Kentucky Derby, we sit here on May 4th. It is not for sure that this horse will be running. Trainer Cherie DeVos said, basically what all trainers say after a race. We have to monitor the horse, and the horse kind of has to tell us what to do. So far, it looks good for the horse. Golden Tempo comes out of the race just fine, and everything seems good. And so they'll just kind of going to see how the horse does the next few days and make a decision probably coming up on the weekend. I would imagine he's going to be there barring, something weird happening. You know, you never know, but that's kind of my guess on it right now. It kind of feels like they want to go. They just have to have the horse tell them, yeah, let's go. And so hopefully he does that with his body language and the way he's moving, and he's full of energy and all that kind of stuff that you like to hear when a horse is preparing for a race. So Golden Tempo is the only horse from the Kentucky Derby that is now pointed towards the Preakness. Now let's go to the new shooters. Wow, longer list here of new shooters. Krupper is the first horse on the list here. He won the Bathhouse Road Stakes last time out for Donnie K. von Hemel. He is on the list. He earned a free entry into the Preakness with that win in the Bathhouse Row. Chip Honcho, a horse that could have ran in the Kentucky Derby. Steve Asmussen opted to wait for the Preakness. We'll see on him. Cherokee Nation for Bob Baffert. He broke horribly and finished, I believe it was last in the San Diego Derby. He never did any running. You never really saw him. He's on the list here. Pretty Boy Maya. Crude Velocity, a horse that obviously won the Pat Day Mile with a 100 Beyer speed figure and kind of put away Englishman late in that race. And Crude Velocity, a horse that now has back-to-back triple-digit Beyers. So Crude Velocity, I think, a big factor in this thing. Express Kid, we haven't seen him since finishing second in the Sunland Derby. He is under consideration for the race. Talk to Me Jimmy, way back when. He was a prep winner there at Aqueduct. Iron Honor won the Gotham at Aqueduct and was nowhere to be found kind of in the Wood Memorial. Napoleon Solo, another one. Big 2-year-old, but hasn't done real well at Gulfstream and Aqueduct this year. Silent Tactic, he was scratched out of the Kentucky Derby with a foot bruise. They're trying to, get that better and get him into the race in time for the Preakness. The Hell We Did, second place runner in the Lexington Stakes. Talkin', a horse that has been kind of around in some of the prep races, we'll call, and Taj Mahal, who won the local prep race here at Laurel Park here for the Preakness. All right, so let's kind of just be honest about what this is going to be. It's not going to be great if two horses don't show up. So key number one to the Preakness, Golden Tempo. We really need to be. He really needs to be there, right? It would be strange, to say the least, for 0 Kentucky Derby horses to run in the Preakness. And that would be wow, right? So hopefully Golden Tempo is there. That is a big thing that this hinges on. Hopefully he is there. Hopefully he's ready to rock and roll. And anytime the Preakness, gets that Derby winner, you do have that intrigue. So hopefully he enters the race. Out of the new shooters, I think we all kind of know Crude Velocity is the one that is the most intriguing. Bob Baffert described it as 50-50, whether the horse would go to the Preakness, and he kind of alluded to the fact that, hey, he ran a pretty fast race in the Pat Day Mile. Maybe he needs some time to recover. So we'll see what happens. And so I think at, Churchill Downs right now, I'm sorry, Cherie DeVos already sent Golden Tempo back to Keeneland. But let's say in the state of Kentucky right now, Golden Tempo and Crude Velocity, I would say they're both 50-50. They're trying to get them ready. They're trying to prepare them. And if they, feel like they've got a lot of energy, they're going to go. And I think the race hinges on those two horses. If they both show up, I think it's going to be a very intriguing Preakness. If one or the other or both don't come, it's going to be extremely, I'm not sure. So here's the other, the new shooters, Crupper, Cherokee Nation, Pretty Boy Maya. Let's skip Crude Velocity, Express Kid, Talk to Me, Jimmy, Iron Honor, Napoleon Solo. I'll stop at Silent Tactic. That's also one that, that Foot Bruise, he's up in the air too. So there's another horse there in the state of Kentucky that it's just like, it's questionable if he's going to make it or not. I think his presence is big in it too. He needs to be there, to really make this thing go. If especially if we don't get Golden Tempo or Crude Velocity, and then the hell we did talking Taj Mahal. Now let's get honest with ourselves for a second here. If we don't get Golden Tempo and Crude Velocity, we've probably seen 20-point prep races better than what this Preakness is going to be. And I don't even want to knock these horses that are other horses that are entered or are thinking about entering, I should say. But I think we have to be realistic and say, boy, this is, if they ran this race on, let's say it was the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn Park on March 1st, and it was who we just talked about, minus Golden Tempo and minus Crude Velocity. You'd probably say, well, that's not the greatest running of the Rebel Stakes that we've ever had, right? And so that's kind of where we're at. And that's why I say the race really hinges on, we got to get the Derby winner there for sure. That would be a nice welcome change over last year when we didn't. And then, it would be really nice if the Derby winner, had to, try to beat a Crude Velocity in the spot. So we're going to see what happens here, guys. Kind of a last thought. And, we know that Churchill Downs has purchased the Preakness. We know the speculation of, they're going to change the dates of this Triple Crown and forever change it. I'll put the graphic up again. It's like this just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. It just feels like we should have a lot more horses trying the Preakness. The Preakness used to be, gosh, it was almost automatic. I'm talking 10 years ago, say it was almost automatic. Yeah, the top 3 or 4 runners of the Derby, they're going to the Preakness, and now, we just don't see it. And it's just almost like all those other horses that ran in the Derby is like out of the question when they ask the trainers, hey, are you going to wheel back? And it's like, okay, so we'll see what happens, but this is not great. This is not great. Now, I will say, Golden Tempo versus Crude Velocity, a lot of intrigue there. Can Golden Tempo get 2 in a row and go for the Triple Crown at Saratoga? Can Crude Velocity stretch out in distance and have that same brilliance? A lot of intrigue in that, and that would be fun. But hopefully that happens. But if we don't get those, well, it is what it is. It's still the Preakness, still a huge race. But hopefully the Derby winner is able to show up. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video. We will be here all week long with Preakness coverage, of course, leading up next week to the race itself. Going to be a lot of fun. Preakness Day coming up in about 10 days from now. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video. Hit that like button if you like. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the site for more news.